I'm here to fucking break out the next president of the United States of America from prison. That's right. Let's fucking get started. We're doing a fucking heist. The greatest heist of all time. The fucking president of the United States of America. I'm going inside and I'm fucking stealing him. Like he's the fucking Mona Lisa. Okay, here he is. Here's the big beautiful boy right there. No mugshot, unfortunately. We found out last night. No mugshot. I'm going to be honest with you. The judge is a bum. Alvin Bragg is a bum. Everybody involved is a criminal. CNN said that Trump apparently wants his mugshot taken. Yeah, no shit he wants his mugshot taken because he understands fucking content. Bro, he's already selling mugshots. He already started selling mugshots. This is the ugliest shirt of all time. The real thing would be an incredible, like, iconic moment in history. We were robbed. We were fucking robbed of that. Also, notice how he said 45 and 47 like he's going to win again.
The former president, there he is.
Oh, there it is. There it is. He looks so sad. President, I'm coming to save you, sir. Sir, I'm coming to save you. Someone try to rush Trump? No, I'm there to defend him. New Yorkers are mostly outside celebrating. Yeah, it seems like the pro-Trump protesters outside were a flop, and that it's mostly just people doing pack-watch shit. It's mostly people just celebrating, it seems. So a couple things that we need to find out immediately is, now that the arraignment's out there, a lot of the indictments and the charges are going to be unsealed. So we're waiting on that. We want to know what the exact charges are because there's 34 of them. Okay. We're waiting on that. We're waiting on multiple Trump speeches that are going to happen throughout the day. We're going to be covering the hogwatch element here. We're going to be looking at what the conservative hogs are saying. It's basically going to be a rehashing of like everything that they've been saying, even leading up to this very moment. Obviously, the dynamic might change a little bit. There's going to be this centrist, middle of the ground, like Democratic Party adjacent people that will probably come out of the gates to say things like, "This seems like a miscarriage of justice." Like Joe Manchin already went on the Sunday programs and basically said that. So there is that. Here are some of the first images from inside of the courtroom. This is CNN showing the first images from inside of the courtroom at the moment.
Indicted former president, but this looks like a man who the weight of his actions may be catching up with him, and he feels out of control of the situation, at least for the duration of this arrightment.
Oh my God, this analysis is so fucking stupid. Dude, come on. Just have fun with it. This is so dumb. I'm losing it. He looks like he doesn't give a shit. You want to know why? Because he doesn't give a shit. Because it's not that serious. Okay? That's it. That's why he looks like he doesn't give a shit. Also, what is this like? We need to bring in body language experts to see what Donald Trump is saying. Like, just have fun with it. Just freestyle. Just have fun with it. Okay? I do not expect anything major coming out of this. As I've said over and over again, there are two separate cases that are more significant than this one. The RICO in Georgia is actually, in my opinion, more significant than this one. Election tampering, okay, or manipulating vote counts. The other one is obviously the DOJ January 6th insurrection-related one, which also is better than this one. This is just, as far as we understand, leading up to this moment, we're still speculating. But as far as we understand, this is just simply, mismanaging campaign funds to pay Stormy Daniels hush money. That's it. QAnon hog content outside of the courthouse. Let's take a look at that.
All right. So for deep state, they delete the elite 1%. All roads lead to fucking where? Vatican and then Switzerland, right? Okay, we know that. Switzerland.
How do I find her shirt?
That's where the bitch was. When I say bitch, I'm talking
Hillary
about
Clinton.
The devil himself, all right? And you're like, oh my God, I don't believe in the devil. Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you fucking do. Because there's the devil. If there's the devil, there's God. Listen, did the devil create you?
I don't believe in God, so.
But the Creator created you, bro.
Oh my God, that's awesome. It's awesome. She's so matter of fact with it. She's so nice with it. I love that.
Who created you? Who created your ass? Listen, bro. Listen, bro. There's two. There's the creator of all creation, the source of all sources. Call it whatever you want. Buddha, Taoism, I don't care. There's the creator of all creation and the source of all sources. That's it. Bada bing.
Bada bing.
If you're with the devil, you will know it. Because you know why? Because your life will become a total living hell.
Most sane QAnon mom at the Trump arraignment. I mean, that's pretty fire. I would like to see more of this. I also love personally that the Republican Party has decided to completely lean on this. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Republican Party. This is what the Republican Party thinks its base is comprised of. And obviously, in some respects, there are a lot of people like this within the Republican Party base. But I don't know if this is a working coalition that they can, where they can basically reach enough of a broad enough audience to win a national election. This does not make a good, solid, workable coalition. You can't keep leaning into these fucking freaks. 2,000 years ago, Jesus went before Herod's court in Jerusalem for being an enemy of the state. Now, just before Good Friday, Donald Trump goes before another court in New York City for being another enemy of the state. It will be biblical. Their evil will be seen by the whole world. I'm going to give this a like because, honestly, fuck it. Why not? Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like, this is like, in every other circumstance, when someone said shit like this, you would look to that and you would go, oh, that's a crazy person. Now, on the internet, because of the anonymity and because like there's so much context that you would normally utilize when assessing the credibility of your interlocutor, when all of that is gone, people who are the most unhinged will come across like, regular old citizens. Other people who are equally as unhinged can basically turn around and like that tweet to give it more legitimacy. Most of the people criticizing me clearly do not understand. Donald Trump is the greatest supporter of Christianity on the planet right now. He's doing God's work. Q went to him in 2017. God wins. Like you did? Yes, because I am also mentally ill.
This
is such lip shit. Yes. This is the one day where everybody, especially on the liberal side, get to have fun. Okay? This guy's a president. This guy is a former United States president. I'm sorry, but this is an understandable moment to get libbed up on. Okay? Now, do I think that anything is going to happen? No. But should we actually fucking enjoy it? Absolutely. Trump is not currently a president. Why do we not point that out? When you're an American president, you are forever an American president. That's why people always say President Donald Trump. That's why they say you don't lose the title. That's why they say President Obama. Bro, call the 2024 election right now. CNN about to give it to him again. They're so lame. Trump don't care about you, lol, bro. They are very horny for the content. But to be fair, so am I. Odds of another January 6th event, it doesn't seem to be that the chances of that happening don't seem to be too high. I don't want to speak too soon, but as far as we've seen, okay, as far as what I've seen thus far, there is not enough momentum surrounding Donald Trump. There isn't. Yeah, the hogs are insane. They're hogging. Terrence K. Williams says, please pray for President Trump's safety. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th, 1968. Former President Trump is being arrested on April 4th, 2023. That has 10,000 likes. These people are so fucking insanely unhinged, okay? And it's awesome. Now, listen, that stuff's great. But one thing I want to tell you, one thing I want to point out here is you asked, is there going to be a January 6th style situation? The reason why I don't think it's going to happen is twofold. One, because January 6th already happened, and for the first time ever, a lot of these like HVAC business owners and the like saw consequences, punitive consequences from a criminal justice system that they thought prior was on their side and would never actually hold them accountable. The reactionary petite bourgeois no longer find themselves to be as infallible or as powerful in the eyes of the law. They now know that they can get held accountable for like going crazy. Some of them fucking died because of COVID. That's another part that we shouldn't forget. There's also that as well. A lot of people died due to COVID. That's another issue that we are not really calling into consideration. I think the lack of astroturfing surrounding like protests is the reason why you see counter-protesters, is the reason why you see many more counter-protesters who are there on their own volition than actual protesters, like Trump supporters. Tell Chad to Google Trump Rule 34 to get the full list of charges. Yeah, don't do that. What do you mean by AstroTurf? AstroTurf is the opposite of grassroots. Grassroots movements are movements created by individuals on the ground that on their own volition, whereas AstroTurf movements are basically created by people, paid protesters. You know what I mean? Okay, the charges are coming in.
Skeptical and open-minded when it comes
Fucking
to any
CNN, give us the charges, goddammit. Here is from MSNBC. They said that Mr. Trump tried to conceal a conspiracy to undermine the 2016 election to identify and suppress negative information. I mean, that's the one we knew about already. Here, they're talking to the court reporter right now.
Potential witness or a juror. These social media posts that threaten death and destruction and World War III, the public statements he's been making, the picture of him swinging a baseball bat towards D.A. Bragg's head. They're very concerned about these posts and, again, the potential effect on jurors and witnesses. As far as what I heard before I left
Donald Trump Jr. posted a photo of the judge's daughter. No photo, just a tweet saying he did. What the That's insane. There's no fucking shot, dude. What? You can't do that. Bro, these guys really think they're the shit. Bro, these guys think that they're on 4chan or something. It's a Breitbart article about how his daughter worked for the Biden campaign. Bro, I can't even click on Truth Social, bro. This shit is so busted. This website is so broken. I can't even link it. Seems relevant. Yet another bullshit connection in this handpicked Democrat show trial. The BS never ends, folks. Daughter of the Trump judge. Daughter of the judge on Trump case worked on Biden-Harris campaign. Obviously, this fucking person is a goddamn lib, and their daughter is a lib too. To be fair, though, this judge, not on my side today. Not on my side for not allowing fucking court cameras. Not on my side for not allowing a fucking mugshot so I could look at mugshouty Donald Trump. So I don't even care about this judge, okay? Fuck this guy. He's not on our side, chat. It's 34 felony counts, but I haven't gotten enough details on what's going on with the counts. Hold on. I'm going to try to find the 34 charges real quick. What? Quick Trumpo math. So it's 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in New York State. That means typically 1 to 4 years per charge. This Manhattan DA case alone puts Trump in jeopardy between 34 and 136 years in New York State. No, that's that. Like, don't look at liberals. They're going crazy. This is an otherwise relatively inconsequential case, okay? In other circumstances, mismanagement of campaign funds have led to just a regular fine, okay? A fine that can go all the way up to like $800,000, where, you know, they've done this before. Plenty of other former presidents have paid a fine, okay? The idea that, like, he would go to prison maximum, if he would go to prison to begin with, is silly. But, like, let's say they hit him with the book and the case actually sticks, okay? He would most likely, I mean, it would be like 1 to 4. Like, there's no, the misdemeanor charge is 1 year. The felony one is 4. Felony is much harder to stick anyway because you have to have intent and you have to show You have to show intent to basically defraud voters by hiding something specifically for the election and not for any other fucking reason. He would not see a single day in prison. Like, that's not a thing. No matter how shitty his crackpot lawyer team is, the likelihood that he would like actually serve a prison sentence is unimaginably low. It's just not even a thing, in my opinion. We're talking those, the sentencing that they're showing you, the sentencing that they're showing you is literally maximum sentences.
Prosecution has.
Also, prosecutors told Judge Merchant that Trump's social media posts are irresponsible and threatening, and they're seeking a protection order for Discover. It's understandable. Those social media posts are threatening. They're actually more threatening than if someone who is currently in court was like literally verbally threatening. Yeah, Discovery. Not Discover. If you were in court and you were like openly fucking threatening the judge or saying shit about the judge's daughter, you know what I mean? That would definitely be that would be up for consideration. Like Alex Jones, when he did the same shit when he was in court for defamation, they literally fucking that did not seem favorable to the jury in that circumstance. Trump is doing the exact same thing. It's probably even more significant than that because Donald Trump also has millions of fucking followers. You can't really do anything about it. I don't know. They would not be able to hold him in contempt of court, I think, because like people would go absolute bananas mode. But I mean, he will probably keep pushing the boundaries of acceptability. All right, we're going to take a look at the indictment. The grand jury of the county of New York, by this indictment, accused the defendant of the crime of falsifying business records in the first degree in violation of Penal Law 175.10, committed as follows. The defendant in the county of New York and elsewhere on or about February 14th, 2017, with the intent to defraud and intent to commit another crime and aid and conceal the commission thereof, made and caused a false entry in the business records of an enterprise, to wit, an invoice for Michael Cohen dated February 14, 2017, marked as a record of the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust and kept and maintained by the Trump Organization. The second count is falsifying business records in the first degree, which is the detailed general ledger for the Donald J. Revocable Trust bearing voucher number 842457 and kept and maintained by the Trump Organization. It's just like every single voucher number individually. That's how they got to 37 charges and including every single instance. I mean, this is basically what Trump's legal team said that they would do, and that's basically what they did. Here's the press release. District Attorney Bragg announced 34-count felony indictment. Alvin J. Bragg announced today the indictment of Donald Trump for falsifying New York business records in order to conceal damaging information and unlawful activity from American voters before and after the 2016 election. During the election, Trump and others employed a catch and kill scheme to identify, purchase, and bury negative information about him and boost his electoral prospects. Trump then went to great lengths to hide this conduct, causing dozens of false entries in business records that conceal criminal activity, including attempts to violate state and federal election laws. Trump is charged in a New York State Supreme Court indictment with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. The people of the state of New York allege that Donald J. Trump repeatedly and fraudulently falsified New York business records to conceal crimes that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 presidential election, said District Attorney Bragg. Manhattan is home to the country's most significant business market. It seems like overall, there isn't anything more severe. It is literally... It is what they thought it was going to be. It is what everyone was speculating. From the New York Times, the charges against Mr. Trump are all Class E felonies, which are the lowest category of felony offense in New York, can carry a maximum prison sentence of 4 years per count. Under New York law, falsifying business records is generally a misdemeanor, but prosecutors can escalate the charge when they believe a person falsified business records in order to commit another crime to hide the committing of a crime. Yeah, that is what everyone has been speculating about nonstop.
Say this to you. Today's unsealing of this indictment shows that the rule of law died in this country. Because while everyone is not above the law, no one's below it either. And if this man's name was not Donald J. Trump, there is no scenario we'd all be here today. Please understand that based on these charges.
What are we going to get tonight?
Like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But that's also partially because, like, you know, we are so used to people who are rich being above the law. That's the only reason. You cook the books in a similar capacity like this, you're gonna get fucking fined. You're gonna get punished. But when a business owner does shit like this, okay, when a business owner does shit like this, it's basically seen as as just like a minor offense that you could just pay a fine and move on with. Okay, that's it. The next in-person hearing date for Trump's case in New York is set for December 4, by the way. So we ain't got no juice until December 4th.
What you essentially see from the district attorney.
David Pecker is going to be a star witness. August 2015.
Reacting to the indictment that
August 2015, the key meeting that set up a catch-and-kill election scheme is Pecker, Trump, and Cohen. 2016, Pecker, Trump, Cohen, series of discussions suppressing Karen McDougal's story. Post-election, Trump meets to thank Pecker. And in the summer of 2017, Trump invites Pecker to dinner to thank him for his help during the campaign. Evidence this was election-driven contra the Melania John Edwards defense. Because remember, we need to recall that like something like this happened in the past. John Edwards was able to get away by claiming that it was specifically to killing of a story was specifically done to save his marriage, which is might not be true, but it doesn't matter. You can at least claim it. So it's hard. It's hard to elevating these to a felony makes it very hard to defend. The defendant directed lawyer A to delay making a payment to woman 2 as long as possible. He instructed lawyer A that if they could delay the payment until after the election, they could avoid paying altogether. Because at that point, it would not matter if the story became public. As reflected in the... Dude, okay, that's actually kind of solid. So they are stupid enough to fucking routinely admit. This is one of those... this is like, I told you. I told you. They're so dumb that, like, they're dumb enough to just openly admit why they were doing such a thing. Did you just say all the talking heads on Fox who were making the save marriage argument are looking pretty dumb now that the evidence has actually come out? I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're still going to fucking find a way to manipulate their audiences. I just don't fucking understand how you can get away with being this brazen. It blows my mind. I told you when the facts came out, I told you that the only way to like get them on a felony instead of a misdemeanor is if there is enough evidence that they are openly being like, we are going to do this because of the election and no other reason. And it seems like they did do that. That blows my fucking mind. Like, there's no interest in covering your fucking tracks. There's no interest in trying to even attempt to hide or create plausible deniability. That blows my fucking mind. It's literally like, God, it's like getting caught after a successful bank robbery because you literally have a sign on you that says, I did a bank robbery at, this exact location and the money I have on me is literally from this bank robbery. I don't understand. Like, I know that part of the reason why Donald Trump thinks he can get away with this shit is because he has his entire life. He's gotten away with it. He's failed upwards his entire life. He failed a fucking casino business. Think about it. Stake.com. Think about how much casinos just literally print money. And this motherfucker bankrupted a casino even after he got millions from his dad to keep the casino afloat. So his entire life, he has run around getting away with it, right? But this is like mind-boggling because so many minor things. If he had a little bit of operational security, so many things that they did here, like none of this would be admissible in court. None of this would be a story. There would be nothing. And yet, due to sheer incompetence, has caused him to offer the Manhattan DA like a legitimate court case. Trump makes the Clintons look like crime savants. They are. They are crime savants. That's the difference between like crime and like what is technically permissible yet still immoral versus what Donald Trump does. It's like the same exact principle behind Dinesh D'Souza going to federal prison for campaign finance violations when the entire system is designed in a way for a rich person to give unlimited funds to a specific politician running. You have to be cartoonishly stupid in the way that you are doing criminal things or illicit behavior, in the way they're engaging in illicit behavior to actually get prosecuted for this shit, dude. They designed the system to allow you to get away with it. It's like Paul Pelosi getting arrested for insider trading. Like, it's not going to happen because the system is designed in a way for it to never happen, okay? It's unimaginably stupid. Bro, how did that doorman only get $30K to kill an illegitimate child story? We really just don't aim high enough as working class people? Yeah. All the contractors he hasn't paid since the 80s should ride this wave and class action him. The funniest part about that, and I was thinking about this as well, Donald Trump notoriously is bad at paying contractors, like famously. He always refuses to pay contractors and get away with it. Okay? And I think in this circumstance, him trying to do that to Stormy Daniels might be his downfall. Dude, he literally tried to not pay Stormy Daniels because he was like, yeah, after the election, it doesn't matter. And that elevates this from a misdemeanor to a felony. All right. DA is now speaking. We're going to go over and hear what Alvin Bragg has to say.
On a New York Supreme Court indictment returned by a Manhattan grand jury on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Under New York state law, it is a felony to falsify business records with intent to defraud and an intent to conceal another crime. That is exactly what this case is about. 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct. The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements. The defendant claimed that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. This simply was not true. And it was a false statement that the defendant made month after month in 2017. April, May, June, and so on through the rest of the year. For 9 straight months, the defendant held documents in his hand containing this key lie, that he was paying Michael Cohen for legal services performed in 2017. And he personally signed checks for payments to Michael Cohen for each of these 9 months. In total, the grand jury found there were 34 documents with this critical false statement. Why did Donald Trump repeatedly make these false statements? The evidence will show that he did so to cover up crimes relating to the 2016 election. Donald Trump, executives at the publishing company American Media Incorporated, Mr. Cohen, and others agreed in 2015 to a catch and kill scheme. That is, a scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election. As part of this scheme, Donald Trump and others made 3 payments to people who claimed to have negative information about Mr. Trump. To make these payments, they set up shell companies, and they made yet more false statements, including, for example, in AMI, American Media Incorporated's business records. One of the 3 people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels. Less than 2 weeks before the presidential election, Michael Cohen wired $130,000 to Stormy Daniels' lawyer. That payment was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal. The scheme violated New York election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. The $130,000 wire payment exceeded the federal campaign contribution cap, and the false statements in AMI's books violated New York law. That is why Mr. Trump made false statements about his payments to Mr. Cohen. He could not simply say that the payments were a reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels. To do so, to make that true statement, would have been to admit a crime. So instead, Mr. Trump said that he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services in 2017 to cover up actual crime committed the prior year. And in order to get Michael Cohen his money back, they planned one last false statement. In order to complete the scheme, they planned to mischaracterize the repayments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities. The conduct I just described and that which was charged by the grand jury is felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important everywhere, to be sure. They are all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. That is why we have a history in the Manhattan DA's office of vigorously enforcing white-collar crime. My office, including the talented prosecutors you saw at arraignment earlier today, has charged hundreds of felony falsifying business records. This charge, it can be said, is the bread and butter of our white-collar work. And fraud presents itself in all different forms here in Manhattan. We have charged falsifying business records for those who violated federal bank secrecy laws. We have charged falsifying business records for those who were seeking to cover up sex crimes. And we have brought this charge for those who committed tax violations. At its core, this case today is one with allegations like so many of our white-collar cases. Allegations that someone lied again and again to protect their interests and evade the laws to which we are all held accountable. As this office has done time and time again, we today uphold our solemn responsibility to ensure that everyone stands equal before the law. No amount of money and no amount of power changes that enduring American principle. Thanks so much.
We'll see if he takes any more questions. He does not appear to be willing to. That's Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan District Attorney today, who took the unprecedented.
Do you think this judge will be objective in this case? Sounds like he's pretty biased to me. First of all, that's not the judge. That's the DA. Okay? And secondly, it doesn't even fucking matter whether or not they're objective or not. What matters is whether or not he actually did a fucking crime. Like, what do you mean? Everyone's biased. Of course they're biased. Everyone's always fucking biased. That's why you do, judge shopping. There is no such thing as like a liberal, or there's no such thing as an objective judge.
He said that
the jurors decided that what John Edwards did was wrong. There are a lot of wrong things you can do in an election. There are a lot of things you can try to keep from the voters to protect your position in an election that aren't criminal. And that will be the heart of this case.
Terry Moran, thanks to you. With just a few moments left here, I want to
the only John Edwards' defense in this circumstance was that he was not doing it to hide the truth, hide criminal misconduct from the electors or whatever, but instead to protect his marriage. And the only difference here is that Donald Trump very clearly, at least there is enough evidence to show that Donald Trump was doing this not for his own marriage or whatever, but specifically for the election. That's the main difference. He's so fucking stupid and has gotten away with doing so much crime so openly that here's yet another circumstance where he very clearly violated the law in the most obvious brazen way possible, leaving a fucking gigantic paper trail in an otherwise very difficult to prove circumstance. Ultimately, even if they prove it, the consequences of it are not going to be as dire, okay? As dire as the way people seem, or as dire as the way people make it seem, okay? I do not think that, this kind of white-collar crime is going to land Donald Trump in jail. It'd be very shocking if that's the case. It'd be unimaginable.